This is the Taoclean Aura Clean ultrasonic toothbrush. This is the white. They may make a black version as well. Included with the toothbrush are 3 brush heads, the instructions, the UV charging stand, the power plug and detachable USB power cable, which I've already got plugged in here. But I've been a fan of Sonicare brand of toothbrushes for many, many years. When I actually found a discontinued model in the bargain bin at a local department store near where I lived at the time. And at that time, I'd always used manual toothbrushes, and I figured for the $10 that it cost in that bargain bin, I figured, what did I have to lose to try it? And a few years later, that brush had finally given up the ghost, and I was hooked at that point. I bought a replacement. But my overall dental health, especially with plaque, had greatly improved, and I was sold on these type of Sonicare or ultrasonic type brushes. And all these years later, I've been using a Sonicare. You know, doubtful that any brand could really make an improvement upon this type of brush. So with this, when I got this Taoclean, I was kind of skeptical that this could be as good as my Sonicare. But this brush is pretty similar in overall design and function as that brush, and even the brush heads are nearly interchangeable. I actually tried it. The only difference is the brush fits on the backwards, although it still works. But so the design is pretty close to Sonicare's design. Now, there are a few differences, though, as this brush only has 2 cleaning modes here. There's what they call a sensitive mode with this button here, and a full clean mode, which is, you know, you could switch between the two. This is the power button here, but versus my current Sonicare that has 5 different modes. Although for me, in reality, I really only use one of those modes on the brush, which Sonicare calls the white mode, which is a 3-minute cleaning mode, and really I've only used the other modes on that brush by accident. You know, again, this is marked by a half smile or a full smile, depending on which mode you're in. I kind of wish that it had just a marking that indicated sensitive and super clean, which is the 2 modes that this has, as opposed to, you know, the symbols. But that's a minor complaint for me. I also kind of wish it had an extended mode like the Sonicare, which is their white mode is 3 minutes long. I would like to see that on this particular brush, mainly because I got used to using the extended mode, I think, for me. But again, there's some things about this brush I really like that I think they're improvements over what Sonicare brush design currently is. For one, it's got a little clear end here, which is actually a low battery light that flashes pretty brightly when the battery is low. Also, it kind of buzzes a little bit. Sonicare has something similar, but the light is really small and not as easy to see as this one. So I kind of like that being an attention-getting type of light when your battery needs to charge. And again, this brush works and feels very similar. I'll turn it on here. I don't know if you can hear. Let me put it up next to the... But it works and feels pretty similar to my Sonicare brush. Even, you know, has a 30-second pause for each section of your mouth like the Sonicare. But one of the things that I think that's a clever improvement that this particular brand has done over the Sonicare is the base. And it is a little bit large, but the cool thing about this base is it not only is a base for holding the toothbrush, it also charges the brush, has a UV disinfectant light in the brush, and also has a kind of warm air or whatever to kind of go through it to help dry the brush out. You just basically put the brush in upside down and it starts charging. I really like that. Sonicare makes stands for certain models of their brushes, but that only disinfects with UV, and you actually have to take the brush head off and it doesn't do anything as far as drying the brush out or anything like that. It just disinfects it with UV. So I definitely think this design, even though it may be a little bit less spacious than Sonicare's charging design, I think this overall is a clever way that they are charging, disinfecting, and drying out the brush, because the drying part of it is definitely a good idea for keeping bacteria and things like that, and the gunk that builds up, especially in between the end of the brush head and the brush itself. So I like that that feature of this brush. Now with this Taoclean, I do have a similar complaint. Let me pull it back out here. As I do with this, like I do with the Sonicare, actually, I like being able to have the rechargeable battery, which is like the Sonicare. But the one limitation to this, just like the Sonicare, is you cannot change the batteries in this, and you've only got a finite amount of charges with both this brush and the Sonicare, meaning that once that battery lifespan is up, then that's it for the brush. You know, I really wish Sonicare would do this as well. I wish both these brands would do this. Figure out a way to have a battery you can change out, still keep it waterproof. I'm sure it can be done with this pretty easily. Because like the Sonicare, I think this is an expensive brush, you know, an expensive kit to buy, especially with the battery limitation. Overall, though, I mean, this brush and docking stand seems to be well made. It's good quality. It works as well as the Sonicare. It does lack the variety of modes that Sonicare has, if that's important to you. You cannot change the battery after it stops recharging, and it's pricey. Again, those are complaints I have with the Sonicare as well. But the charging base with its capabilities are a great addition for this, for this brush, and I think make a good challenger to the Sonicare. I give this 4 stars.